Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Yanika, and today I wanted to have a serious talk about financial stability. I'm currently in a very financially stable position, and so now I'm trying to work to pay off my student loan debt and get to financial independence. So I thought today I would tell you guys about my journey to financial stability, because I feel like there are people who think that getting to where I am has been like easy or something, but it's not. I was born in the struggle, so my entire life has been a struggle, but I was able to get myself to where I am. And if you're going through financial difficulties, I just want you to know that you can get yourself to a stable position. And so today I'm just gonna share my journey with you guys. So for starters, I was born in Jamaica, and not the Jamaica that you guys see on television, not the vacation spots. I am from the ghetto or the hood or the projects or whatever it is you guys want to call it. That's where I'm from. There's a lot of people who don't believe me. There's a lot of Jamaicans who don't believe me when I tell them where I'm from, because I'm from one of the ghettos in Jamaica, I guess you can call it. And my mom left when I was 2 for a better life for her 3 kids. I'm the youngest of 3. And when I was 11, I moved to the States. And of course, I didn't want to move here. The only thing I ever knew in life is ghetto life. So, growing up there, I thought that the ghetto life was normal because I wasn't exposed to anything else. So when I moved here, I kind of resented my mother a little bit. And we just didn't get along throughout my teenage years. We didn't get along because I come from a single mother and no college education. She barely had a high school education. I think she just found out that she actually did graduate high school, because she didn't know that at one point. With that, came struggles financially, of course. As a single mom here, it was a struggle. It was a lot of things that I didn't really understand growing up, I think, which kind of made me a little bit rebellious. There were things that I didn't understand. I mean, she always kept her roof over our heads, me and her, because it was just us two, but it was just a lot of things I felt like I just didn't understand. And we didn't have like the type of relationship where you sit down and talk and stuff like that. Like, we didn't have that type of relationship growing up. So then when I was 17, she shipped me off to Florida to stay with my uncle for my senior year of high school. And I asked her to emancipate me, but she didn't, because I guess she didn't want to lose that right, in a sense. And then at the end of the year, I had applied to 2 colleges. I only applied to 2 schools. And so I was, gonna be on my way to college. And to be honest, I had no idea why I was going to college, to be honest, because I didn't understand college. First of all, I grew up in the ghetto, so I didn't grow up around anyone who went to college. When I was in Philly, I never knew anyone who went to college. And then, I guess when I was in South Florida with my uncle, my cousin went to college, but we didn't have a close relationship where we spoke about college. So going into college, I was very naive to college, in a sense. I had no idea what I was signing up for. I didn't know anything about out of state fees and stuff like that, and they ended up charging me as out of state because they still considered my mom my legal guardian, which kind of put me in a very difficult position financially, because throughout my 4 years of college, being an out-of-state student, it was tough because I didn't get net checks like everybody else to be able to like buy things and stuff like that. And then my mom didn't understand because she doesn't understand college. So that was a headache. And every semester, what I ended up having to do is go talk to them in the financial aid office to get scholarship money. And they would give me after like you maxed out your federal loans. So I guess the only positive part of the whole thing was that I never had to take out any private loans. I only took out federal loans, and it wasn't as much as some people probably. They only gave me enough scholarship money to cover tuition, and then I stayed on campus the first 3 years, so they would cover the housing. But my last year, the mistake that I made was like moving off campus. I thought that I would still be able to get scholarship money to just cover housing off campus because it's cheaper, but turns out they, I guess the money's not going back into the school, so they weren't willing to give those scholarship money anymore. And then being that every single semester I kept going to them for money, I think after a while, the money that they're giving you, it's gonna run out after a while. And so my senior year was tough. My senior year was the toughest year of my entire 24 years of life. It was so stressful. It was such a struggle. It was such a struggle. And then towards the end of the year, I was like dang near homeless. Okay. So I ended up actually at the end of that spring semester, I had to move back on campus because I couldn't stay in the apartments anymore because the school wouldn't give me money to pay the off-campus apartment. So it was a struggle, like it really was, and it just caused me to be depressed naturally. By the grace of God, I don't know how I did it, but I finished my accounting degree in 4 years. No idea how I did it. But then after college, I went back to Philly. And this was like August 2016. I went back home, and then, like most people, I went through the post-grad depression phase. I think most of my peers can relate to that. I went through that, and then I think I got out of my post-grad depression phase a lot quicker than some of my peers because after 11 years of being in the States, I got the opportunity to go back to Jamaica. So this was late 2016. I got to go back to, even though 2016 was a very rough year, the end part of the year was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. I got to go back to Jamaica, to where I was from. And when I went back, this made me realize that, like, going back made me realize that we cannot be mad at people from the ghetto and the hood from having ghetto and hood mentality because they don't know any better. Like, we don't know any better. Like, growing up there, I thought that the ghetto life was normal until I moved to the States and went back after 11 years. I was just like, I really came from nothing. Like, I really came from the gutter. I have no idea how my mother got us out the ghetto. Like, she got all three of her kids out of the ghetto and to America. And I give her props. Like, for someone with no college education, limited high school education, single mother doing it by herself to get all three of your kids out of the gutter, basically, like, it's crazy to me. And it's hard to break out of the ghetto type mentality. So I understand a lot. Like, it made me realize a lot why a lot of people stay there and aren't looking to do much more with their life. So going back just kind of gave me some perspective that if my mother could do all of that, why sit around and waste your life being mad at the world, basically? Because I know when I left college, I was just really upset because I was just like, I didn't have to like go through all that difficulty if I was really angry at my mother too, because I was just like, I didn't have to go through all of that like financial difficulties. Had she emancipated me, had she informed me more about, had she known more about college. But then I started realizing my mother doesn't have a college education. How is she gonna inform me of college? She came from the ghetto. She came from the ghetto to the States and trying to like do hustle what she can to like make sure that we had a roof over our head, to make sure that we had food and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of times us as millennials, we get mad at our parents for not advising us properly, or like basically letting us know what we should know. But the truth of the matter is they don't know themselves. So it's like, how are they supposed to advise us if they don't know themselves? And my mom, she did the best that she could, is what I started realizing. Like, she did the best that she could. She's not a book smart person, she's street smart. So she did the best that she could, is what I started realizing. And I think a lot of us as millennials, like, we have to start realizing that us black people, like, we're already behind the 8 ball. As black people, we're already behind the 8 ball because we were the ones who were slaves. Then our grandparents weren't like up on like game as far as like building generational wealth like white people did. They didn't know how to do that type of thing, and so they weren't able to teach that to our parents, and so our parents weren't able to teach that to us. However, we now have access to the information, so why sit and be mad at your parents? Why not just start learning? Is basically how I looked at it. So when I started working the early parts of 2017, I started working in my field area, finance, accounting, and I was a revenue analyst. I started trying to get rid of my credit card debt from college. So I left college with $5,000 that I owed the school. So I had to pay them that to get my diploma, and then I had, I want to say $3,500 in credit card debt. And so I started looking to pay off the credit card debt because it kept building up interest. Of course, I needed my diploma, but the credit card debt to me made sense to pay off first. So I started looking into how do I get rid of this credit card debt, which is when my personal finance journey started. Because a lot of people may think, oh, just because you have an accounting degree, you should know personal finance. But truth of the matter is, I'm not going to say college is a scam, but college does not teach you personal finance. It does not teach you how to, well, I did take a tax class because it's accounting, but college didn't teach me personal finance. College didn't teach about credit cards or nothing like that. That's stuff that I started researching myself. And I came across Dave Ramsey during the time, which was probably the best thing that could have happened. And for those who don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's this personal finance guy, and he talks a lot about not having debt, except like a mortgage, and just eliminating debt altogether. While I don't agree with, I'd say, everything that he says, I agree with a whole lot of it, and I live by a whole lot of it. And so I started trying to eliminate my credit card debt, which I did. I paid off the school the $5,000 to get my diploma. And how I did those two things was I just borrowed the money from my mom, and then I reimbursed her for it over like it was like an 8-month period. And back in 2017, I decided to make the move to LA. So like once I paid my mother off in those like 8 months or whatever for those two things, then I started saving for LA. So I want to say in a 12-month period, I was able to save and pay off 1400, no, 14,000. I'm tripping. I was so dedicated to getting rid of debt and getting my finances in order. So in like a 12-month period, I was able to pay off $9,000 debt basically, and then save an additional $5,000. And then I moved out here, and since then, I'd say since I left college, I haven't had any like financial problems or anything. I mean, other than those things I had to pay off. And since I paid off my credit card debt, that was like over a year ago, I haven't had credit card debt. And what I've realized is a lot of my peers, why they end up in bad financial positions is because they lack the knowledge. A lot of people think that money is power, but the truth is knowledge is power, okay? You can give somebody $1 million, but if they don't know what to do with that $1 million and how to grow that $1 million, they're gonna be back to $0 very quickly. But if they have the knowledge of, okay, how do I invest this money to like build on it, make more money, and keep this money, then they'll be able to like be successful, right? So that's something that I learned, and I feel like a lot of my peers don't understand that. Like, they don't understand that they lack the knowledge of certain things, and that's why they're in bad financial positions. Because I had someone tell me that, oh, they keep a balance on their credit card because they're trying to build credit. Well, I have a credit card, I don't keep a balance on it, and in like a year and a half time span, my credit went from 560 to in the 700s. And I don't keep balance on my credit card. I have no debt besides my student loan debt that I'm working to pay off now. And then I was gonna finance a car at one point, but I'm so happy I came across Dave Ramsey. And then I just was like, you know what? I don't need to finance a car. I don't need to put myself in any debt, even if I can make the payments. I mean, I could make the payments, but it's just like I'm not making any money from that car. So it's like, why would I get a car that I'm not making money from? It's going down in value, you know what I mean? But a lot of people don't understand those concepts. And those are some of the things I want to talk about on this channel. Is just, I don't have to live a paycheck to paycheck life because, like I said, I handle my personal finances very well, I would say. And so I don't live a paycheck to paycheck life. Like, if I lost my job tomorrow, I know my bills are gonna get paid. I know I'd be okay. I'll just be looking for another job and my day would carry on, you know? But so many of my peers are like super stressed out. It's like they're sticking to jobs and things that they don't really like simply because they have to, like they need it. Like, they, if they lost their job today, they wouldn't know how they're gonna pay their bills, or they would have had to put their bills on their credit card. But you know, if you're willing to put the work in, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you, there is. If you're willing to put the work in. Like, it took work for me to get to where I am, because like I said, I come from a mother who, while my mom, she's really good at like her money. Like, she's good at saving, she's good at handling her own money, and like making sure like my mom doesn't live a paycheck to paycheck life or nothing like that. But she doesn't know how to invest and stuff like that. Like, she doesn't know how to do that type of thing, you know what I mean? So those are things that I'm trying to learn now. Like, well, I know how to invest, it's just that I'm trying to learn more so that I can build generational wealth. That's what a lot of my channel is about. And I just wanted to sit down and have this talk for my millennials, especially who are in these difficult financial positions. Like, I went from the ghetto to the college struggles, and now I'm in a good spot. Like, I can say I don't have any financial worries, which is really good to be able to say that at 24, especially, and especially for someone coming from ghetto life. um so those are some of the things I want to teach, and I really hope that you guys are willing to put in the work. Okay guys, that's it for today. I know my voice is a little funny in this video. I think I'm kind of losing my voice. I hope I don't. I haven't been yelling or anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit sick. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.